My school was so strict. I remember the time the principal gave my whole entire class in school suspension. Do y'all know what it takes for a whole class to get in school suspension? Or even just to get it alone is not good at all. But get ready with me for school story time on how my full entire class got in school suspension. Before we start the video, if this gets on your For You page, please comment For You page because I try to notice and follow some people back who comment For You page. Please don't forget to comment For You page. Look at that shade match. Okay, so we had just came back from lunch and we were about to take our quiz or whatever. And this one girl who was not supposed to be in our class walks in and she was arguing with this one girl. Like, they were talking at first because I guess she lost her water bottle and she blamed it on her. I don't know. But it kind of escalated a little bit and the one girl went outside and the other girl followed. I guess the one girl was trying to be mature about the situation, but the other girl had walked out. So, and then they started getting louder. So then that's when like 3 students ran outside and that's when the whole class was just like, oh, we're about to take this very important test. And our teacher is on maternity leave, so we have this substitute. At the time, I didn't like him, but then I started to like him. So we were the first class who runs out and then the whole grade is in the hallway. Obviously, nothing happens because my science teacher gets one of the girls and yeah, I mean like nothing happens. But here's the problem. We try and go back into the classroom and we notice that the door is locked. This dude would not let us in the class. We're literally banging on the door because half of the class is outside. After standing out there for a while, the ESL teacher comes and gets us. We're in the dean's office. He would not let us back in the class. But literally the whole grade was out there. So why are we the only ones being punished? Doesn't make sense. Being so for real, we were sitting in that room for like 2 hours straight because like we had absolutely nowhere to go. He comes back and he says that we're all going to get in school suspension, but on a different day. So for example, 10 kids would go per a day until we were all done. But the story does not end. So let me know if y'all want a part 2. If you stayed all the way to the end, comment down below a pink heart in the comments. Bye guys and have a great day. 500,000 followers is crazy. The drama in my life right now isn't even mine. It's like the shit I overhear in the school bathroom, and now I'm like invested. Yesterday I was in there minding my business, doing my business, and these 2 girls come in, not to use the bathroom. What they were talking about was wild. Now, before I continue, I'm not judging. It's your life. You do you. It's just crazy to hear. Now, I know a decent amount of people in my grade and the grade below me. So then these people I didn't recognize, so which means they were like freshmen or maybe sophomores, but probably freshmen. So this one girl's like, oh my god, like I like your bracelet or like something. She gave her a compliment and she's like, thanks, like I got it yesterday. Oh, where'd you get it? And she was like, oh, I stole it. And I was like, oh, okay. Stealing is not that uncommon, so that wasn't the big shock. And then the other girl was like, oh, it's so cute, like do you think you could steal me one? The other girl was like, oh yeah, like I can steal it after school, like, isn't your birthday soon? Like, it can be your birthday present, we can, like, do it together. And I was like, oh my god, that's a really interesting way to bond. And then a third girl walks in, and she's like, yo, not saying names, I got your shit. And then one of the girls walks away, and then the other 2 girls start making out. Again, you do you, like, pop your pussy in the school bathroom, but they were like making out, and I'm sitting there like, they start doing whatever they're doing, and I'm sitting there like, fuck, I can't leave the bathroom right now, that's like weird. So they finish sucking face, and one of the girls is like, okay, like I love you, bye, and she leaves the bathroom. And then another girl came in, I could tell because I was washing their shoes. Another girl came in and starts making out with the girl I was just making out with the other girl who just did the drug deal with the other girl, and they're like macking on each other too. And then the new girl who just came in is talking about some, like, oh, is your ex still bothering you? Like, God, she's so annoying. And the girl's like, yeah, she was just in here, like, stalking me. Like, it was so weird. I was like, oh, you, what? So then I come out the bathroom, because I've been in there for a really long time, and I'm like, I give her, like, the, like, smile, you know what I mean? And she was like, hi, and I was like, hi. And then I went back to class, and now every day I've been looking at everybody's shoes, trying to figure out who the fuck these girls were. Love you, and I will report back.
Get ready with me while I tell you guys a story about my fake best friend and how I became best friends with her sister. We're gonna use code names. So my ex-best friend is Pink, okay? So Pink was best friends with some other girl. We're gonna name her Blue. So Pink was friends with Blue, but I been knowing Blue for a while, so we just all became a trio. Well, that's what I thought. So Pink invited me to a birthday party, so I went. So I went to the party and then we started talking, right? And then Pink brought one of her friends that I never met. And like Pink's sister was saying that that girl wasn't a good influence and that she just So Pink goes and grabs her friend while I'm in the bounce house with Pink's sister. She takes her inside and she tells us to say hi to her. So I'm like, okay, like, hi. But then she like gave me a stink face. So I was like, okay, if you're gonna give me a stink face, then you could go with her and I'll just be with your sister. They gave all of us a stink face and then they just left the bounce house. And I told Pink's sister, like, is she okay? Like, should we talk to her? And they're like, no, she always gets like this. I was like, oh. The night goes on and I end up leaving. So before I left, I gave Pink a hug and I told her bye. And she just gave me a side hug and didn't even tell me bye. Like, okay, acting like that in your own home at a party is crazy, but okay. Mind you, the whole night that I wasn't hanging out with her, I was telling her sister, should I talk to her? Should I invite her? They were all like, no, because she always gets like this. There's no point in trying. I'm like, okay. But then when I get home, Pink texts me. She texted me talking about something that I left her out and that I was being rude. But I'm like, don't leave out the part where you left me to go with your friends. I look a little white, trust the process. But so then we're like arguing back and forth. And I'm like, okay, whatever. You do you and I'll do me. We don't have to be friends. But then they invite me to another party, but this time it wasn't Pink, it was her sister. So I go to a party and it's me, her sister, and her two friends. So we're all sitting at a table and then she just comes. We're all like, okay, like, whatever. But the only reason why she sat with us because Blue wasn't gonna go. And then, what was it? I think someone brought up that Blue wasn't coming. And then she was like, oh yeah, and have you guys seen her stories and everything she's been posting? She said that she was posting weird stuff and we're confused. We're like, oh, what is she posting? And then she pulled up the screenshots and everything and she was showing us. She showed us a screenshot and we were all confused because it was something that she shouldn't be doing and she was in a relationship. So I'm like, oh, isn't she in a relationship? And she was like, yeah, that's the weird part. I was okay. And then I tried switching the subject, but she tried to keep talking about her. So I'm like, whatever. And then we all had a group chat besides her, because, you know, we had a group chat, so we were just texting that she was just trying to create problems. And then whatever, she goes to her room while we're in the living room, and we just all like start having fun. I'm inviting her to come hang out with us, and she's just ignoring me and saying that she's okay. So then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let her be, you know, like I already asked her if she wanted to hang out. She said no, so I'm like, okay. Then we end up having a sleepover, and I invited her. I'm like, you wanna come with us? She said no, I'll sleep in my room. Okay. Whatever. The next morning, like we hang out, whatever, and then I go to my house. She texts me talking about something that I was leaving her out and that I wasn't inviting her. So then I'm like, no one left you out. I was asking you if you wanted to hang out. You said no. I'm not gonna keep coming into your room every 5 minutes asking you if you want to hang out if the first time you said no. If you change your mind, I told her, if you change your mind, you could come. I told her that, so I don't have to keep going in that room. I just wanted to have fun. And then I end up texting her sister, like, I'm like, what is your sister talking about? And I send her screenshots. I end up texting her sister and telling her, like, what's going on with your sister? Telling me not to worry about her because she always gets like that with every single one of her friends. So then her sister starts talking to me and telling me that I don't need her, that she's just problematic. So then I'm like, you know what? If she's just trying to create problems with me, if she's gonna wanna fight all the time, I'm not gonna be her friend. So then her sister was like, okay, like, go ahead, like, no one's stopping you. So I stopped being her friend and I stopped being friends with her sister, which is my best friend now. Our first ever hangout was at the movie theaters. It was so much fun. Wait, I left a big old part. So you know how I said that Pink was talking shit about Blue? Apparently when we left her out that day, she ended up texting Blue saying that we were talking bad about her. But she was the one talking bad about her. And I guess Blue believed her. And then she started saying stuff to me and my friend and her other friends. And how my friend was also friends with her. She was like, you're really gonna listen to that? So then they ended up becoming a duo and I became a duo with her sister, right? But at the end of the day, Pink became fake to everyone. She switched up her whole style. She just became weird because she wanted to be about like boys. And I know she might be watching this because I have her blocked and she'll be going on people's devices to look at my videos. So if you're watching this, yes, it's about you. Anyways, some people ask you for my lip combo. I got you. It's literally the same thing, but I get lip mask or like lip balm, whatever. Just put a little bit on your lips, but make sure they're not like glossy, so kind of like tweak it off, you know. Then I grab my NYX lip liner in the shade Vintage, and then I just line my lips. It looks funny, right? And then just rub your lips together, and just like that. Just in case you guys were wondering, who's my best friend? This is all us preparing for a game. Before I go, I just want to say I'm so sorry for not being consistent. I've been so busy. But I'll definitely do another story time about how I got in a car crash. Anyways, bye. Get ready with me while I tell you guys about the story that I got sent. So it started off by me meeting this guy a few months before COVID started. We were texting for a while, getting to know each other, and eventually I started to like him. We were going out, and eventually my girl best friend moved around my area. We were hanging out a lot, and I eventually told her about my boyfriend. She was happy for me, but then she started acting weird. She hits him up, and he ends up sending me a screenshot of her trying to get at him. She asked me if I wanted to hang out, so I was like, okay, sure. So whenever I went to her house, I ended up confronting her about it. She got mad at me and told me why I would ever think that she'll hit up on my boyfriend, but then I showed her the proof. After I showed her the proof, she kicked me out of her house, and I went straight to my boyfriend's house. When I went to my boyfriend's house, I told him what happened, and he told me to drop her. So then I dropped her, and then COVID started, so I couldn't see my boyfriend as much. We take a little break because COVID did start and we couldn't really see each other, but we'll still text seeing how we were doing. Then my best friend sends me a snap of them together. And the reason why they had a chance seeing each other more is because they were in a gated community together and they lived like 30 seconds away from each other. When she sent me the snap, she didn't have one boyfriend, but she had two. But then I stop her back and tell her what she's doing with my ex, and she just blocks me. But then I text my ex and I tell him that I want nothing to do with him and that I don't want to hear from him anymore. Moving forward to this year, we talked about it and made a solution. Now we're all good with each other, but we're not friends. Okay, that is the end of the story, but let me give you guys some feedback. First of all, that friend isn't your friend. And I hope that you cut contact with her, and if you did, good job. I know it's hard to cut off contact with a friend that you're best friends with, but if you did so, proud of you. And for your ex to be letting himself like that, and then your ex, he doesn't even have any respect, so don't go back to him. I know how girls be with their ex, just don't go back. At the end of the day, keep your head up and be careful on who you hang out with.